Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, and this one is the McFarlane Toys Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn 7-inch Deluxe figure. This one is super hyped up right now because Walmart absolutely dropped the ball and is just an absolute shit show on how this figure got released. So McFarlane Toys said Walmart would get the early release. 400 stores actually got it in store. They had a list. The list wasn't organized in any way, shape, or form, so you had to just go through it and see if there was one for your local Walmart. Mine did have one in California, so a buddy of mine, Spawn XD 209, you'll know him maybe on Instagram. I'll include a link in the video description below. We went there together. Luckily, we found one case that had 3 in it, so one case of 3 at one of those Walmarts. He got one, I got one, and then actually the person working there, her husband collects, so she was the one that helped us out in locating the box and everything, so she got one. So it's just crazy right now. Never went online like it was supposed to, but have no fear. On the 13th, it will be available on Amazon, GameStop, and then probably everywhere else. So if you couldn't get it from Walmart, don't worry. On the 13th, I'm sure it will be very easy to come by. I don't have a link to Amazon or anything, but if you go to the McFarlane Toys website, I think they're going to include a link in there. They have one to Amazon. It just takes them to like the McFarlane shop or store or whatever it is. So have no fear. But anyway, packaging looks awesome. Of course, for Spawn, McFarlane Toys had to change things up a little bit from the Mortal Kombat packages. They put the green background in there so it really pops and stands out. Just looks great. So you see Spawn there, Mortal Kombat. It says 14 plus, not a toy. So this is not a toy. This is a collectible figure, I guess is what they're going for. But there it is. You can see we have 22 moving parts. This is an awesome figure. So at Toy Fair this year, I actually got to hold it, play with it around a little bit, and it was amazing. So Ty, that works at McFarlane Toys, was just awesome taking me through the tour of the McFarlane booth. So it was awesome. So this figure is one that I picked up. I don't play the Mortal Kombat game. I did play Mortal Kombat 10. I haven't played 11. And not that I'm a big Spawn fan or anything, but the figure is amazing. And because I had that awesome experience at McFarlane Toys at Toy Fair, I had to pick this up and review it for you guys. So without further ado, let's get to it right now. And real quick, he does come with a stand right there. It's got a little peg hole. It says Mortal Kombat. The card says Mortal Kombat. I'm not going to be taking that out and showing that in the review, but it does come with the stand. Alright, here is the Spawn figure out of the package, and this thing is amazing. The articulation on this guy is crazy. He does come with a sword, as you see here, and we'll take a close look at that here shortly. But if you have not yet already seen the gameplay trailer for Spawn in Mortal Kombat 11 has dropped. I will include a link in the video description below. He has all kinds of weapons in the game, but only comes with the sword, so that's okay, I guess, but lots of great things. I know when I had posted pictures of this from Toy Fair, people were asking about the chains and everything. In the game, the chains just come straight from like his hip, and then he uses his weapon, so there's no other chains anywhere. But this is exactly how he looks in the video game, and I think there's an alternate skin that you can get in the game which has a more classic, like smooth look to it. But anyway, let's take a look at that sword, then let's get up close to look at Spawn. Okay, so here's an up-close look at the sword that comes with Spawn, and the detail on this guy is awesome. Looking at the sculpt and everything, looks really, really good. Came out looking great. You actually got the Spawn logo there with the green eyes. Just looks really, really good. We got a wash kind of throughout the whole thing, so it's not just like silver in color for the blade. It is done quite nicely. Looks very good. Okay, so here is an up-close look at Spawn, and you can see that just the details and the sculpt is absolutely amazing. Look at the texture throughout the body. Just looks really, really good. Now there's basically a dark wash over the entire thing. So if you look at, you know, the gray white portions where you kind of get that beige color, and then you get a wash all over all the red, you get a dark wash throughout it all, but the spikes came out looking very nice, and the sculpt and the color, you can see there actually is like a metal color to them that goes throughout. So the arms, the legs, just looks really good. On the chain, you can see the dark wash throughout the whole thing. Came out looking incredible. Here on the cape, you actually see some dark wash throughout the whole thing, which just looks great. And then just look at the sculpted detail of all the different layers. Now in the video game, you can see that the cape really opens up, but in the figure, you know, we don't get that because that would just be kind of crazy how they would have to do that. But we get, you know, the dark washing along these folds. Just came out looking really, really, really good. Here on the pouches and everything, you actually get color for those buckle pieces there. Just looks really, really, really nice. this thing came out so nice. One thing is you cannot remove the cape, by the way. It's stuck on there, so that's not going anywhere. The same for the chains. It's kind of glued on the back here. I guess if you wanted to pop the glue off, maybe you could do something with it, but otherwise it's stuck on there. But looking so good. Now let's see his articulation, and there's a lot. You preview, there's butterfly joint there, so let's do it. Okay, so for the articulation, now we all know that Todd McFarlane, he always wanted a balance between aesthetic and articulation, where he would prefer more of the aesthetic over the articulation, and that is a battle that he has not won. He's actually said that. He said, I didn't win that battle. So here we get something that is the pure balance between the two. So it is possible, and he can do it, because this is a prime example of how he could do it, because the articulation on this guy is incredible, and it doesn't sacrifice anything in the overall aesthetic of the figure. So the head, he can look down, so you get motion going there. He can look up somewhat, not a whole lot, but he can do that. But you get some really nice pivot going on in there too. And then of course you get a full rotation if you would like to. You can get the arm to go up that high. The cape does hinder that a little bit, which would be the only kind of downfall there, but you can get the arms to go up that high. You could get a full rotation, you just have to be mindful of the cape there. Now there is a butterfly joint in there. It doesn't give you a huge amount of range of motion, but it can give you a little bit more. So you can get that arm to kind of go back a little bit, and you can get it to come forward quite a bit too, so you can get it over there. So there is that range of motion there. There is an upper bicep swivel there as well. You get a double jointed elbow, so you get that much bend at the left elbow, the right elbow. You're going to get a little bit more, but this gauntlet piece is going to kind of get in the way of that a little bit as well. So a little over 90 degrees, but that gauntlet piece does hit the forearm, not the forearm, the bicep there. Now there's no ab crunch, you get a diaphragm joint. So you get a solid pivot going to that side there. Solid pivot going the other way there too. There's another point of articulation where I'm trying not to show that one move around too much. You can't really get him going back very far, but again, the cape would be kind of really hindering that as well. Forward is only so much as well, but then you also have this other, I don't know if you call it a diaphragm joint, but it's that lower torso joint. So just like the diaphragm joint, it's like so it's not a full swivel, so you can get the pivot going even further that way. So if you use both of them together, you can get him to pivot to the side quite a bit, and that's when you can get him going forward much more, and then going back, you can get him to go a lot further back. So using both of them together, it works out quite well. And then as needed, you can swivel the waist just fine both ways, like so. So great movement there. The legs, you can get the leg to kick forward that high. You can go back quite a lot, and you can get it to do all kinds of things. So splits, you can go that far apart. You can get one leg to turn and go out to the side as well. And you can even do like a backwards thing. So there's just all kinds of range of motion in this leg. And it's kind of squeaky. I don't know if you guys hear that. There's no thigh swivel or anything, but that's what you can kind of really turn this leg already up at that hip joint. So that shouldn't be an issue. The knees are kind of stiff, so be careful with that. But I can get a solid, cape's getting in the way, solid double jointed knee. You're going to get the same thing on the other side, so you can really crunch them down and move this figure around in all kinds of different ways. So he has an ankle pivot, so you do get a swivel at the ankle as well. Can hinge up, you saw it hinge down, and then you also have toe articulation there. Now the right foot has all that same movement. It's just not as easy to work around, but you can do it. It has like the same size feet and everything, so you can move it around. It's just not as easy. So pivot isn't going to work as well on that foot because of how you would have to get him to stand, but the pivot is there. So there is the articulation. So pretty crazy when you think of a McFarlane Toys figure having this much articulation. Okay, and there's my review. As you can see, I tried to get him in as close as possible into the position that he was on the cover of Spawn 300, and he gets pretty close. So you can see the articulation on this guy. The movement that he can do is just outstanding. McFarlane Toys has come a long way when it comes to articulation. I know we saw that start with the Fortnite figures, but there's just all kinds of great things that they are doing now, especially now that they have the DC Multiverse line. You know, that opens up all the doors for all kinds of possibilities for them, because, you know, McFarlane Toys hasn't been in the boys toy aisle ever really, and until DC Multiverse. So they're doing all kinds of great things. So this is just a figure I had to get to support them, because again, they were just amazing at Toy Fair, and I really appreciate it. I got to meet Todd McFarlane, and he was so amazing and cool. He took the time to do a little quick video for a buddy of mine, Spawn XD. So it was just amazing. So this figure is awesome. It is only a $20 figure. The articulation is fantastic. Yes, it's a 7-inch scale, and everyone prefers 6-inch, but that's what McFarlane does. It's what they've done for a while. And then NECA has 7-inch figures too, but nobody complains about those as much. But just an awesome figure all around. Again, 400 Walmart stores got it first. How many of them actually got it? It doesn't seem like a whole lot of people were able to find it. It's a small box because, again, a case of 3. Should be in the electronics department, but it does come in with other toys, so maybe the toy department didn't know where to put it or what was going on. So take a look with those things. On hand count said 0 for that store, even though they had it. So there's all kinds of weird things. So keep an eye on walmart.com. Maybe it'll update and they'll have it available online. Otherwise, the 13th, you'll be able to get it everywhere. So here it is. You guys let me know down in the comments below. Are you looking forward to it? Are you picking it up? I'm curious. Let me know down in the comments below. If you guys liked the video, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.